Okay, so this is the latest update on the website here, and so basically I just want you to keep reading the business requirements. Think about this, the elevator problem challenge. Just what do you think about the overall project? Just start making some notes, document what you think about it. Today, since again, I think that you need to keep experimenting with the code as much as possible, I will continue to experiment with my small little project, if you recall, which I had, and I have posted the sample that I developed in class right here, this MVC architecture, model view controller architecture demo, right, with the frame, but I haven't posted the entire project, and I just thought that if you want to try it on your own, you need to be able to basically put together the entire code on your own, and just perhaps you can still copy and paste chunks of code from here, because frame window also, if you look at the project, right, so this is my project right there, since week 2, so then technically this is our week 3, right? So in my source, I had created the controller, a couple of business objects such as elevator, bank, and then the elevator, and then the frame view, which was created by NetBeans, and which includes that graphical user interface. You can see that it has this extra file which is called a form. It has internally like an XML format, but it stores all the properties that the graphical user interface designer needs to maintain that view of the window and stuff like that. So this is something that I may want to post as the entire project next time, so that you can just download a zip file, unzip it, and keep going for it with it forward if you want to keep experimenting with it. In the meanwhile, I just want to quickly refresh our memory regarding basically regarding this specific project. So what we had in this project is basically we had the controller, right? We had the controller class, the controller. So let's take a look at the controller. I can just basically go to this sample code controller, so I can see that the controller holds a reference to the window represented by this frame main view, and also holds a reference to the elevator bank, right? So we can basically quickly capture that this controller class essentially references the window, which is called frame main view, right? So I have this frame main view, kind of long name, but that's what I have, right? So this is another class that I have, which has all kinds of gadgets in there already, and then obviously controller has the reference to the frame main view, and then controller also has a reference to the elevator bank, right? The elevator bank here, as far as I recall, has access to an array list, right? It creates an array list of elevators like this. So this is our helper collection right there, and obviously the elevator bank holds a reference to this. The controller holds reference to the elevator bank. Let me just be kind of careful with what I draw here. And then obviously the array list of elevators is populated with the elevator objects. Elevator, right here, elevator. Elevator is another class, and actually let me move it down just a little bit to provide me a little bit more space to draw more things on this diagram. right? So array list has somehow keeps references of these elevator objects, right? But we know that there could be array list is designed to hold multiple elevator objects. So for now, I will draw them like, you know, like a stack of cards or something like this to represent that there is a possibility that there could be multiple elevators. Now, on the diagram, and as we begin to get more formally into class diagrams, this is perhaps closest one is to say that this is a class diagram or object diagram. Right here, you would have basically, you could draw that, for instance, this elevator over here may have a reference to the next one like this, right? And this one may have, actually, this one right here may have reference to the next one like this and so forth. So let me add some shades to these other, you know, background. Oops, that's the wrong one. Oops. Let's just make sure that we isolate this area and fill it with this color. Okay. Something like this, and somewhat lighter, filling this lighter. Oops, again, need to make sure that we don't let that happen, right? Okay, so something like that. So we have essentially these references that connect everything. So at runtime, every single object that we create, if we think about this diagram as an object diagram, everything holds a reference to something else, and so the entire system stays connected together so that everything is basically can find, you know, each piece can find some other pieces and they can interact and so forth, right? So if I try to draw a more formal diagram of, you know, demonstration of the fact that there are you know, there is a collection of objects, typically in a very formal class diagram, and for this I will just open another paint window and redo this part. So again, I have this elevator bank, right? Elevator bank, which is basically the business object to hold access to and control all of the elevators right here, right? So typically what happens is that you probably don't want to show the always display this array list of elevators on your diagram. It's basically you can represent it graphically that you have an elevator class right here, okay, and all that you have to show is that the elevator bank has access to these, and you can specify that perhaps there is a, you know, a certain multiplicity. For instance, you can draw a star here, and you can, this way you can indicate on the diagram that there could be multiple elevators in this arrangement, right? So the possibility of having this star, which specifies the multiplicity on the side of elevators, that could be more than one, right, implies that this connection between the elevator bank and the elevator implies that we can have some sort of collection representing this association between elevator bank and the elevator. This kind of simplifies the diagram compared to this one, right? So here we explicitly show that there's this helper collection which holds the list of elevators, and then you have access to individual elevator objects which are put on this list. And again, to simplify this type of drawing, UML uses simply a connection like this to show that essentially the elevator can have other successor elevators, and eventually we have the tail end of this sequence. But whenever you see on a diagram a loop back association like this, it basically indicates that you're dealing with some kind of list, right? That essentially we can represent it this way, right? And if we do this kind of list thing, then we can even eliminate this this asterisk right here, because we can say that the elevator bank may be pointing to the first elevator, and this first elevator may be pointing to the next one, to the next one, to the next one. And essentially at design time, we really don't care how this is implemented, as this type of list, or perhaps using some kind of a collection class. So anyway, I mean, this is probably one version that we can represent at design time, or, like I said, you know, if we get rid of this self-referencing association, which creates a possibility of, you know, a list of elevators, then we can just simply replace it with simply just using the asterisk and say the elevator bank somehow has a means to create essentially a collection of elevators, and this asterisk suggests that this is like you know, one-to-many type of relationship, that we can have multiple elevators. So just to give you some ideas about the alternative to this type of arrangement.
So star is